Today I am going to explain the drama and mystery movie Radius, released in the year 2017. The movie is about a man and a woman who get into an accident and soon realize that they have both lost their memories. So they go out to find their past, but both have to face the terrible realities of their past. Watch the recap to find out more, and don't forget to subscribe to get notified about our next thriller recap. The movie begins with a man whose eyes open at an accident site in the forest. A flashback shows the man having an accident. That person leaves the spot and comes towards the road. He tries to stop the oncoming car, but the car doesn't stop, goes off the road, and crashes. When the person checks the car, the female driver in it is dead, and her eyes have turned white. The man takes the woman's cell phone and calls 911 for help. He tells the representative that he has seen the name of the place written on the signboard as Woodmore County, but he does not know which road he is on. When the representative asks his name, he gets confused. He hangs up, pulls his wallet out of his pocket, and checks his driving license, which reveals that his name is Liam, meaning he can't even remember his own name. Suddenly, a crow falls on the car. It also has white eyes. Liam runs away from there. On the way, he comes across a restaurant, and when he enters it, he finds all the people dead with their eyes turned white. A truck also crashes near the restaurant due to the death of the driver. Liam thinks that the deaths may be due to a virus, so he rips off his sleeve to cover his nose, grabs a map of the area from the restaurant, and walks into the trees. He tries to find his house from the address written on his driving license. Finally, he reaches his house, and when no one opens the door, he breaks into the house. On searching for things, he finds out that he is a land scraper and no one else lives in his house. From time to time, he has some old memories in the form of flashbacks. He has completely forgotten everything, and it is probably the result of the accident. It is also being reported in the news that the cause of all these deaths may be a virus. Liam sees a man working on a tractor outside his house. Liam tries to warn him. As the man approaches Liam's house, his eyes suddenly turn white and he falls to the ground. Liam gets even more upset and starts writing notes on the whole situation on his pad. Suddenly, he hears the continuous crowing of a crow from outside. Liam goes out, covers his nose with a napkin, and starts walking towards the crow. As Liam steps towards the crow also dies. Liam drops his napkin, where he stands and measures the distance between the crow and himself. Now Liam is starting to understand a little more. He sees a car coming, and fearing that someone might die again, he runs away from that car. He tries to call 911, but changes his mind. Liam is constantly listening to the news on the radio about strange deaths in Woodmore. Liam confines himself to his shed with his necessities and food so that no one is harmed by his presence. After some time, 2 police officers come to meet him at his house. A police officer notices a spoon buried in the soil there, and as she starts to walk towards the shed, Liam gets worried. But some birds fall dead from the sky, due to which the officer stops and goes back with his partner. At night, Liam is sleeping when he has another dream about his accident that opens his eyes. Liam hears some noises outside, and when he looks to check, he sees a woman who may be looking for him. When the woman realizes that someone is in the shed, she walks towards it. Liam asks her to leave, but soon he hears a knock on the door. He is quite surprised to know that the woman is still alive after entering his radius. The woman tells Liam that she just came to talk to him. Liam opens the door. The woman asks him if he is Liam, and he says yes. She asks if he knows who she is, but he says no. He doesn't know anything about her. She says that she was in his car when the accident happened. Liam says that when he opened his eyes, she was not there. Liam tells her that he doesn't remember anything and asks her for help. The woman tells Liam that she doesn't know anything about herself and doesn't remember anything either. She tells Liam that she wants to go to his house to see if she remembers anything and asks Liam to come with her. Then a dog approaches Liam. Liam is surprised to see that nothing happened to the dog. Nothing is found in the house that shows a connection with this woman. She tells Liam that the police found out that the car was registered in Liam's name, so she came here in the hope that she might find out something about her. Liam has a flashback in which he sees the name of the Smithburg Oakdale Bridge. They both leave to go to the bridge, and on the way, Liam notes that the cars passing by are driving normally and that no accidents have happened to any of the cars. Liam asks the woman what he should call her, and she tells him that everyone is calling her Jane Doe. On reaching the bridge, they find nothing. Jane also has a flashback in which she is standing on a bridge and drops a paper from her hand. She also tells Liam about this and that he was there with her. Then they both leave to go to the site of the accident to get some information there. When they both reach there, they are surprised to see the place, as there is a huge piece of ground burned in a circle shape. Liam has a flashback to being struck by lightning. He asks Jane where she found herself when she woke up. When Liam sees the distance between Jane and himself, he is sure that every creature that has entered Liam's radius has been killed, but when Jane is in this orbit with him, no one is harmed. Liam finally tells Jane that he is responsible for all the past deaths in the county. Jane gets angry at Liam, knowing that he has put her life in danger, and leaves. Liam tries to stop her, but Jane won't listen. A police officer recognizes Liam on the road and stops the car to talk to him. She wants to ask him some questions about his accident, but as soon as Jane steps out of Liam's range, the officer collapses and dies. Jane gets more scared seeing this and starts to run away. Liam stops her and tells her that as long as they're together, nothing will happen, but Jane doesn't understand anything. To explain his point, Liam takes her to the woods where a goat is tied. Liam asks Jane to walk away from him, and when Jane goes out of bounds, the goat falls to its death. Jane is very upset to see this, and Liam tells her that this is what he was trying to explain to her, that all these deaths were happening because of him, and that Jane is now stopping them. Liam tells Jane that he wants to go to the hospital so that he can have tests and get some results. But Jane says that all her tests have been done, but nothing out of the ordinary has come up. Jane tells him that his reaction to finding out the truth was so intense that Liam wondered what would happen if the others found out. Liam wants to get his tests done, so he chooses a hospital that is a short distance from the area and where the police won't be looking for him. They both reach the hospital, and Liam has a scan. While waiting for the results, the police arrive in search of Liam. Liam asks the doctor about the scan result, and the doctor tells him that his scan is completely normal. Knowing this, both of them try to escape from the police. While leaving the hospital, Jane notices some missing person posters on the wall, which gives her a flashback. The paper she threw into the water on the bridge actually had her own picture printed on it and was missing. Jane also tells this to Liam, and she tells him that she feels like she doesn't want to go back, but to move on. The police have suspected that Liam is involved in all these deaths, as he has been found at the scene of almost all the deaths. The next morning, the news on the radio reveals that Jane has been recognized, and that her real name is Rose Darewood, the wife of a man named Sam Darewood. Jane decides that she will visit Sam and asks Liam to come along. They both arrive at Sam's house and take him to the car to talk to him. They talk in a secluded place away from the population. Sam doesn't trust Liam at all and calls him a dangerous terrorist. Sam plans to call the police, but Jane tells him that if he doesn't help them both, she'll have to leave. Liam walks away from the two of them and grabs Sam's attention. There are some pigeons sitting under the bridge, and as soon as Liam takes a few steps back, the pigeons die. For his wife's sake, Sam helps them both and shelters them in his press store. At the press store, Jane discovers that the missing poster is not actually hers, but her twin sister Lily Grayson's, who has been missing for a year. Rose E. Jane was very disturbed due to the disappearance of her sister, and that was the reason why she and Sam had frequent fights. And even 3 days ago, she left the house after fighting with her husband. She then remembers that she actually went to the bridge to say goodbye to her sister forever, where she met Liam. Liam thinks that Jane is suicidal, so he tries to help her by talking to her. Jane doesn't want to go back to her house, so Liam tells her he'll drop her off wherever she wants to go, so he takes her with him. Jane then returns to the present and tells Liam how they both met on the bridge. Sam doesn't like Liam and Jane being together, so he argues with Jane about her relationship with Liam because Sam doesn't trust Liam at all. Liam, on the other hand, sees a picture on the wall and has a flashback of him, telling Jane that he has a place where there is peace everywhere and no neighbors of any kind. He further states that he often goes to this place to calm himself down. Liam takes the map from Sam and finds the place on it. The next morning, Liam tells Jane and Sam about the place and says they can stay safe there. Sam wants to go with them too, but Jane stops him so he can stay here and help them. If he also disappeared with them like this, more questions would arise. Sam gets angry hearing this. Jane finds a notebook in which Sam has written all her habits and dislikes. Jane feels good knowing this and thanks Sam for it. Sam is confused and thinking about something. He tells Jane to get his car and leave as soon as possible, but Jane doesn't understand anything. Liam learns that Sam has tipped off the police about them. Before they run away, the police arrive and arrest them both. The police arrest Jane and Liam separately. Both of them are screaming and saying that they should not be separated from each other, but the police do not listen to them. Then what Liam fears happens. All the policemen present and some neighbors were killed. Sam apologizes to both of them for what he did. They both leave to go to Liam's place. On the way, they stop at a gas station to get some essential supplies. There is a news broadcast on TV that NASA has recently released a video showing an unexplained cosmic event. Lightning from space has hit a part of the Earth, and NASA is on a search to find out which part of the Earth it is. Hearing this, Liam and Jane believe that it was the lightning that struck them and caused this to happen to them. Jane tells Liam that they should contact Sam so he can talk to NASA about this. But Liam stops Jane from doing this because he thinks the police might be tracking Sam's cell phone and it could be dangerous for them. When they leave the gas station, an unknown car follows them. Liam has a small cottage by the lake in a quiet location. Going to this place, Liam looks at his things because he doesn't remember anything about this place. The next day, Liam tells Jane that maybe Sam can find someone who can understand Liam and Jane's situation and make sure that it's not their fault. But then the point is that if those people can't find a solution to Liam's problem, then Jane will have to be imprisoned with him. Liam thinks it will be bad for Jane because it's not her fault in all of this, but Jane tells him that she doesn't care what happens to her. Liam goes out into the woods and walks to a lake, where he sees a boat that belongs to him. Jane, on the other hand, tries to set fire to the fireplace and finds a diary that is kept in an iron casing. Upon opening the diary, Jane finds many posters of missing girls and some writings about them. Among the missing girls is Jane's sister Lily, meaning Liam knew Lily and is a psycho serial killer. Seeing this, Jane has another flashback in which she becomes suspicious of Liam while talking to him. Rose Darewood's name is also mentioned in the diary, but nothing has been written about her yet. On the other hand, Liam comes to the middle of the lake with a boat. He picks up a ring from the boat and throws it into the water, causing the water to vibrate. Seeing this, Liam remembers how he tied Lily up and dropped her in the middle of the same lake. He then further remembers that on the night of the accident, he was coming to the same place with Rose. On the way, when Rose becomes suspicious, Liam tries to render her unconscious by injecting her. When Rose defended herself, the two had a car accident during their fight. They both survived the accident, but Rose's life was still in danger. Before Liam could do any harm to her, they were both struck by lightning, which is why there was a black orb at the scene of the accident. When Liam remembers everything, he rushes to the ground, where Jane is standing with a gun. Jane asks if Liam killed her sister, but Liam's silence implies that he killed Lily. She asks him where her sister is, and Jane gets her answer when Liam looks at the lake. She sends Liam into the pond to retrieve her sister's body, a seemingly impossible task. Liam can't believe that he has done such a terrible thing. Jane angrily shoots but misses Liam and takes him to the cottage. 3 men are there who recognize Liam and come after him. They started beating him badly. In order to save Jane, Liam runs away from the group and they follow him. 2 of them are killed as they come within range of Liam, while the boy who captured Jane is horrified by the sight. Jane tries to get away from him, but the boy shoots her because he is upset about his father's passing, as one of the men was his father. Liam runs towards the boy, killing him as well. He then rushes Jane to the hospital. Jane is taken away from Liam by doctors for medical attention. But before Jane can get out of his bounds, Liam kills himself by shooting himself in the head. Knowing that Liam gave his life to save many people, Jane finds his passing tragic. The movie ends with Liam's lifeless eye. Overall, Radius is a great movie to watch with an amazing storyline, so make sure to check it out. To watch our next thriller recap, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments section about your next favorite movie that you would like us to recap. Stay thrilled.